Hi everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe Classified. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Ooh, there's that dog again. I've been working with the windows open lately, and the neighbor's dog likes to make an appearance. So, special guest appearance today by neighbor dog. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm re-recording this audio because again something went wrong. So hopefully, ooh, look, a sketch. I'm showing you the sketch that I'm doing. Hopefully, I can keep in time with everything that's happening here. So, what I was talking about was working out the sketch. Now, I had an idea. That's kind of why I showed you the original sketch. Is I throw ideas down, I throw sketches down, and then once I'm done with it, or I'm happy with it, then I get started on the video. I came across a very awesome pose. I think it's going to work out for Cobra Commander because he's not an action guy, but he needs kind of an action pose, so to speak. So I liked what I did there, and that's why I was showing that it worked out really well. So this was the trick of trying to capture the not the movement, but the feeling that I captured with that little thumbnail sketch. A lot of times thumbnails work out and really define where you want to go with it. You know, you can get a good silhouette, a good design, a good weight, and then you got to recapture it. You know, so I used to be so afraid of having to redraw things because I just didn't think I could do it again. I thought, you know, I captured the magic one time, there's no way it's going to happen again. And, you know, 90% of the time, it's not exactly as good as the first time, you know, the first time you capture it, but that's the practice. That's the discipline of trying it over and over again and trying to, you know, get it right. I know it gets frustrating sometimes where you draw something and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work out. Well, then it's okay. You don't give up. You don't just not draw anymore. You just start over, start fresh. You know, you wake up every day and it's a new day. You get to try it all over again, you know? And it's the same thing with a sketch. If it doesn't work out, then move on to the next one, you know? But it's good practice, good turn to try to figure out where you want to go with it, you know? That's how I look at it. So just playing around with more Cobra Commanders, more G.I. Joe pose, and this one I was really excited about because this one was fun, you know? Some of them, it's like, well, I'm just going to get through them. You know, they're not my favorite, and that's what it is. It's not that I don't like drawing the other ones. There are certain ones that I just like more than the rest. You know, that kind of thing. Kind of like the best bite of the sandwich. You know, I eat the rest of the sandwich, but the best bite that's why it's called that, the best bite. You know. But anyway, yeah, I was excited about this one. This one I've been waiting for, so it's going to be fun. But it's crazy. There's no face details. You know, I just gotta you know figure out what I want to do. And so now I'm playing around with the specific details because the pose worked out. And it's funny working on this pose right here because I got his arm up, but the way his shoulder pad is on the left side, it doesn't look like it's up. This one looks higher. They look the same, you know. But his right side is raised because of his raised arm. So that raises the meat, the muscle, you know, on the shoulder. But it's almost not there. So that's okay. You know, I like the pose here, or well, I don't know. I say this over and over again. I don't have words. I'm not a speaker. Words are hard, and drawing is much better because I can just sketch until I'm happy. Words, I can't really sketch. They just come out of my mouth. And, you know, yeah, I guess they do kind of come out jumbled every now and then, or all the time. And that's why I say I'm a drawer, not a speaker. But that's okay. That's why you're here, right? You're here to draw. Hey, who knows? Maybe nobody's here. You know, I'm glad we hit 1,000, but I don't think anybody really watches the sketch part, and that's okay, because this is for me, 100% for me. I used to have people complain that ooh, look at that hand. I used to have people complain that they can't see it. So that's why I started off now with, this is for me. This is just for me to get the sketch down, and you can join in the Sharpie part. You know, hopefully you're sketching, hopefully you're drawing too. Hopefully someone's watching this, but I'm new. We don't have that many followers. I'm happy for my 1,000, but you know, in the big world, that's maybe, you know, what, 10, 15 people watching, and that's great. I'm not complaining, but statistically, that means no one's watching this part. So I can say whatever I want. Poo. But yeah. So now I just got to finish up drawing the boots. Just some simple stuff, you know, nothing too crazy. But the pose worked out. The pose worked pretty well. So I'm going to try to get back in on this and jump in with the correct audio. This is just me just kind of, you know, kidding around because, you know, I don't remember exactly what I was saying during this sketch. So I'll try to get back into the explanation when the actual Sharpie part comes in. And maybe the dogs will stop barking at that point too. If not, a special guest surprise by the dogs again. And they're neighbor dogs. I don't even know them. I don't even know who they are. They just show up. Okay, but it looks about right. So I think it's time to erase. And well, the hand is a little bit big. So let me get that hand a little bit smaller. I tend to do that. I get excited and I draw the hands a lot bigger than they really should be. So just kind of have to wrangle it in. Have to get it ready for the correct size. But when you're drawing odd positions like this, sometimes it gets a little exciting and you draw, well, I draw really big. Okay, so now it's time to erase. So I'm just going to erase some of the sketch lines, and what's going to be left are the confidence lines. So as I began, I was just throwing lines down, trying to see where it was going, or I know it was going, just trying to get to where I wanted to go. As I could see it getting there, I would press harder, and those, as I got more confident, those are my confidence lines. So when I erase, the sketch lines disappear much faster than the confidence lines, and that's good because you follow your confidence, get rid of your sketchiness, and it helps so I can still see where I'm going to go, but I can let the Sharpie stand out and not the pencil line. That way you can see much better what we're doing here. So I say we welcome everybody that skipped and get going with the Sharpie portion. Welcome, skippers! Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than a fine point. You get finding things that a fine point can't quite find. I've sketched the entire thing out. I've erased the majority of the sketch lines, but left myself enough to guide me and show me where we're going to go. So I would start with the Sharpie pen, but I think I'm just going to go straight in with the Sharpie fine point because there's no face, there's no fine details that I do with the Sharpie pen. So I'm just going to dig straight in and get going with the Sharpie fine point and just start drawing. So I'm just going to start off with his head, or the helmet, and just dig in, you know. So that's his point. So this is going to be the side of his head, and that's pretty much the basics of it. And I think I'll do that middle part with the Sharpie pen just to give it some contrast. You know, a little bit of accent, you know, because that would look much better there and would stand out. Because it's a helmet, and as cool as it is, this is too tiny of a drawing to really get real crazy with detail, besides just drawing an old domed head, you know? Alright, and there you go. That's pretty much it. So let me just add the bottom and try, you know, just to add a little bit of flair, because that's the thing. It's designed very well and very subtle. So like the flare of his visor right here, you can only see it in the toy, or you know what I'm saying. So there's only so much I can really accent. Let me try to smooth this out a little bit, kind of shape that dome a little bit better. Okay, looks good. And so now for his head, it's just gonna, that's it. That's all we're gonna do. Just kind of give him a chin. That's it. because that's going to be, you know, his mirror dome. That's all we're going to do. So now I'm just going to dig back in with his neck. All right, and try to draw. Ooh, neighbors are drag racing out there. And try to draw his shoulders. And I got this one raised up, so this one's going to be a little higher. And what's funny is I was talking about this side. It's got a shoulder pad, which is big. And so this shoulder is lower, but because of the size of it, it's going to look almost the same height. And it's just going to be designed that what's underneath is his shoulder, you know, and that's what you want to do. So I'm going to draw what's in front, which is going to be his shoulder pad. He's got a little cobra, as usual, Cobra Commander with his cobras everywhere. And then it's going to be attached to his shoulder pad here, which is attached to a cape. So I'm just basically going to draw the shapes of it, and then I'm going to come back and add a little bit of detail with his Sharpie pen. Sorry, with my Sharpie pen, not his Sharpie pen, and just kind of accent it a little bit right here. And that's kind of the nice thing about having the Sharpie pen against the Sharpie fine point is you can complement it with a thick and thin line variation. And he's got little fringes that are hanging off the side here that I can't really do with the Sharpie pen, so I'm going to do it with this. I'm sorry, with the Sharpie fine point, but I'm going to do it with this pen. And I'm going to try to thicken up the lines just a little bit because I don't want to draw through them with the Sharpie pen. Fine point. Sorry. It's just confusing. It's confusing because the pen is finer than the fine point, and so I get confused as to what to say. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Okay, back to my drawing. Sorry. So I think this is going to look good. Let me add a little detail on this Cobra. Old Cobra, which is Cobra Commander. I mean, do you ever think, let's see, I'm going to draw his belt like this, draw it across, and it's going to help. It's going to help to give us a start-stop point to know what's in front and go from there. Okay. So I'm going to give him just a little bit of an accent for, he's got a chain going across here, and we can't really draw all the fine details of the chain. It's too tiny, so I'm just going to do like this, just to kind of accent that's where a chain is going to be, and we'll color it in, that'll accent it too, but that's all I'm going to worry about. We don't have to worry about the specific detail, or the tiny details. It's too tiny in this drawing. Okay. So, let's see, how about we, let's see, he's got a flap that comes down like this to the front of his suit, and I want to start doing the accents too so you can see where we're going with this. And he's got a nice little edge, but look, I didn't do it. I messed up. That little, see that edge? I didn't get it right there, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm okay with getting as close as I can, because it's not going to ruin the picture if I don't get it with the paneling all the way through, you know? I'm good with that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do his arm up this way, since we're going to kind of divide the scenes, or the sections. So his arm is going to be up like this, and here's his elbow to his glove. I can never remember what those words are, and I'm so sorry. But yeah, he's going to have his glove edge right here. So I can draw his bicep back over here like this, and so it's foreshortened, so you're going to see some parts over the others, and that's why it helps to draw what's in front first, because you got to give yourself a little bit of room for foreshortening. All right, and his glove has some armor on the edge, a little more of a defined, cool edge on the edge of his glove there, and I'm going to. No, you know what? I was gonna add detail, but let me finish up his hand, and then we'll add all the detail on this with the Sharpie pen in a second. Let's just finish this arm up, and we'll do it in sections, you know. So his hand is gonna be a little like this, you know, a little crazy, but the opposite hand, you know. So the pinky's gonna be a little foreshortened, the finger's gonna be a little crazy. So just bear with me for the shape, but it's gonna be kind of super dynamic. That's the best way to describe it. A little Bern Hogarth. If you ever want to get some good drawings, check out Bern Hogarth and his super dynamic drawings. He's going to show you how to do stuff like this, where you don't just draw regular, you draw super dynamic. And so you got a crazy old hand here, and you know it just depends on how you define it. You know, so sometimes it looks a little weird, but once you get the overall, add a little extra detail here. Once you get the overall look and shape, and it all works together. Like if you were just to draw this hand by itself, okay, yeah, that might look a little strange, but when you get it in this position on this guy, it does start to work. You know, it looks like a dramatically posed hand, and that's what we're going for. Just some extra little stress and detail of the glove, just to show that it's a little crazy, you know. Alright, so with some extra little lines or piping around the edge like we did for his jacket. And he's got a little cobra, but you can't really see it, so we're just gonna do something like this. Again, it's too small to really define, but we're gonna add a little bit extra. Okay, so now we can add just some creases and folds just to show bends in his cloth, or the stress on his cloth, the creases and folds to show that he's bending his arm up. And that's what really makes some of these drawings, is adding life, you know, making it used. You know, a long time ago, George Lucas says he wanted the Star Wars world to look in a used world. You know, didn't want anything to be perfect. So that's what I'm saying. It helps to make your cloth used and bent. You know. All right, so he's got the strap going across, and I'm gonna go ahead and define him, or put him across according to my sketch, to define some start-stop points as well. But also, because they're in front, we want to make sure that we put them first and not accidentally draw through them. It happens. You draw through it, it's no big deal. But because I've got that in front now, I know he's turning, or his waist is a little turned, so I can draw his chest up like this. That means it's going to put his shoulder piece underneath this one. But it's the design of the costume, really. And that's all you can see. So his arm's going to come out this way. I'm going to go to his glove, but let me show you the back end, or the back of his arm. And then we can draw all those details. Okay, so the edge glove, and so there, we're going to do just like we did on that glove, a little bit of the armor look. And just bring it down like this. Bring this one down over here. Alright, and so now I'm going to do the edge of the glove. And I'm going to do, I keep wanting to do the detail. I got to stop, I got to finish the hand, then I'm going to come back and do the detail. It's just, I see little things. I keep looking all over the place. And I got to stop. Just got to focus on one little part. Because his hand's going to be like this, so we're just going to do like another dramatic side shot. Alright, so I'm going to draw his thumb up here, and then the meat of his hand flying out this way. So I can draw his fingers. And again, a little super dynamic, so we're going to get a little crazy, and also it gives us a little excuse to not really draw a perfect hand, but to draw a different kind of hand. And you get different poses by stuff like this. You get different reactions, I guess. What's the word I'm looking for? Emotions. You get different emotions by drawing super dynamic, different hands like this, you know? He's not just standing there at attention. He's a crazy, maniacal bad guy, you know? With crazy hands like this. Alright, so they're gloves, so I like to add little extra crease lines just to show stress. Like I said, just always about stress lines. They just make everything come to life. It helps. Alright? And then we're going to add a little detail like that. And do you ever think anyone gets tired of the cobras? Like I was talking about this in one of the other ones. Like, it was Cobra Commander. He wants cobras on everything, on your socks, on your underwear, everything. Do you think anyone's ever tired of it? It's like, can we slow down with the cobras? Maybe not on everything. It's like, no, I'm Cobra Commander. I get cobras on everything because I'm not Porcupine Commander. I'm Cobra Commander. Okay, alright, sorry there. I just make myself laugh sometimes. So, back to my drawing. So I'm gonna let's see. He's got like the underside. Well, not the underside, but the opposite of his chest here. The little flap piece. It looks like one piece on top of everything, but not as thick as that side. So that's what I'm just gonna do. Just that, just to accent it that it's something's there, but not as open. It's actually part of the material over here. You know what I'm saying. All right. So back to the drawing. So I'm going to draw his waistcoat, or this part. This coat is going to be hanging down, and I want to make sure that it's stretched out a little bit, or spread out, because I've got his legs kind of stretched out a little bit. So this one's going to come down here, and I'm just going to continue the coat and just follow this sketch, or follow this design. All right. And so this is going to come down, and it's going to have that piping, but I'm going to do that in a second. This is just, like I said, mostly to determine the edges, like that. All right, so let me add just a little bit of the detail here. And I probably should do this with color, but this will give us something to draw and break up the negative space. Okay, and so I'm just gonna finish up his spacing here, but look how those are different sizes. I didn't mean to do that, but I mean look how tiny that one is compared to that one, you know. But it happens, you know. I'm not worried about stuff like that. No one's gonna come over here and say this is horrible, redraw it because that's off. You know, this is my drawing, this is how I draw. And if I decide I want to do it, then I'm stuck with it, and it's what I'm gonna do. I'm happy, you know. All right. So if you ever have to look at your picture flipped over like that in a mirror, you know. So what I like to do is lean back and look, because I can't flip this, because this is taped to the table. I can't flip the table unless I'm angry. Okay. So now we're just going to draw legs, and it's just simple cloth down to boots. You know, nothing too crazy. Just the boot here. Then I'm going to work my way back up to his crotch, where his legs are going to spread out. Going to add some creases right here, and I'll come back and I'll add some extra. I just know where that's where it's going to split and come down here to this knee, back of his leg to the back of the knee, and yeah. So we're just going to add the boots right there. And the boots are just regular old boots. But let me add some creases and folds though to show more of the bends in the right here in the crotch where he's spreading his legs out. We got more creases and folds because he's putting a lot of stress on joints. And so, you know, the hips, the legs, the knees, all those places where there's joints, you usually get a lot of creases and folds in your cloth, in your pants, you know. And so that's why I like to show it all over the place, just to show that it's being bent and used, and again, alive. You know, it makes it come alive. So yeah, so usually where there's a lot of joints, there's a lot of, for my drawing, there's a lot of creases and folds. All right, it's good. All right, well, let's do this one. So especially right here, there's a big bend, and then just a little bit of maybe a little cleaning up right there, make it a little round, and that's it. So yeah. So let's move on to the boots. Regular old boots. I mean, they're Cobra boots, but wait, they're not Cobra boots. But I mean, you know, they're oh, his cape. Let me draw his cape. I forgot about his cape. That's what that is on his shoulder. It hangs down. It's gonna come up here and do this side right there. And his coat kind of goes back a little bit too. So we'll add just a little bit of where it flaps back there. Just all you can really see is this going back like this, and this side hitting back like that, and that's it. And it doesn't mean you have to see it, but you know, it helps with the design. All right, so regular old boots, or regular old boots. I keep saying Cobra boots like they're gonna look like Cobras, but they're not. They're not. I mean, it's Cobra Commander, and he wants Cobras on everything, but not his boots. He ran out of money for the design, and so he just said, well, then just make him regular boots. You know, we don't have to have Cobras on everything. I want it, but I'm out of money. I'm out of money. So that's it. Just regular old boots like this, and then we'll add a little bit of funky design, because that's all he could do. He couldn't afford to put Cobras on it, but you could afford some cool stuff like this. Maybe a little extra piping. Let's do both sides before I forget. And a little bit more, we'll do like a big long one coming down like this. Going back up. And again, just a little bit of breaking up the space. And then I like to add the bends, where, like I told you, joints, where there's lots of stress of the material being bent. You know, just to kind of, you know, show the wear and tear, make it look used. All right. Looks good to me. And there we go. So there, I say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Cobra Commander from G.I. Joe Classified.
So here's how I colored it. Tell me what you think in the comments below, or show me what you did in our Discord group. Just have fun and make it your own, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures with How I Draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.